Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is Chris, and welcome back to 2015 NFL Season Predictions. It is Week 14. We are a quarter away from the playoffs. This is 4 weeks left, and this is the final stretch. This is, I talked about last week how that was the beginning of the final stretch, but this is it. This is the final 4 games. You either win it out, or you don't. You gotta kick ass in these last 4 weeks in order to have any chance whatsoever. And for one team, that's out of the question. But for some teams, if they may have to rely on some other teams, but if they win the next 4 games, there's a chance that they can make it into the playoffs, surprisingly. But we'll see. We'll see what happened. We'll see what happens. I'm very much looking forward to this finish. It is going to be a wild finish. And some wild games this Sunday, or this week even, as well. Not like crazy week, not like Week 10 matchups or anything like that. I'm hoping it has that kind of excitement. But, you know, I'm looking forward to this week. People are going to play hard, and they're going to play their ass off to try to get their team higher and higher in that win column. So we'll see what happens. Before we get to anything else, though, let's look back at Week 13, and let's see how I did with my predictions. I am going with the Green Bay Packers still. I am picking the Jets over the Giants. Cardinals are going to win it. I'm going with the Bucks here. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'm going with the Texans. The Dolphins are going to win this game. Bengals are going to win this game. The Titans are going to win this. I'm going to go with the Bears on this one. I'm going to go with the Broncos on this one. I'm going to say the Raiders beat the Chiefs. The Patriots win this one. The Panthers are going to win. I got to go with the Steelers right now. I'm going to go with the Redskins. Alright, there's my record. 111-81. This is not the record that I wanted. I'm getting closer and closer to hitting the 100 wrong predictions mark, and that's not where I want to be. I want to try to keep that loss total below 100 as we get to the end of this season. But I'm very excited about where I'm at, though, to have a 10-win week. Finally, since like Week 5, I think was the last time I had more than 10 wins, or exactly 10 wins. I'm 10-6 this week. It was a really good feeling, because I was just like, finally, I feel like I'm accomplishing something. Yeah, I think this week I have a much better shot at improving that record, unless all hell breaks loose in the NFL, which has happened many times. You never know what the hell's gonna happen in this league. You know, I don't know. I'd be shocked if anything crazy happens this week. But if it does, well, who knows? We'll see what happens. But anyways, guys, we're going to get to the predictions in just a second. But first, it's time for a brand new segment that I'd like to call RIP. And this is our graveyard that we have here. And this will be the home of many teams. Soon, by the end of, I don't know, maybe like after the last week of February, we'll see 31 teams here, and one team in the background standing outside of the cemetery with some confetti raining down and a Lombardi trophy. But for right now, the population of this graveyard is a total of 1, as the Cleveland Browns took a one-way ticket into this graveyard with their horrible loss to the Bengals and are out of any chances of getting into the playoffs, which is, a lot of these are going to, over the next few weeks, so they're not going to be surprising when they're eliminated. But yeah, what can you say about the Browns, man? I forget where I put them on my list, how I originally predicted their season to go. I don't think it was great. I think it was like, I don't know, like, I predicted them at 6-10, which is still possible. But they are 2-10, and unless they miraculously win out, you know, they beat the 49ers and and then who knows? They'll beat the Steelers next week, because why not? Or actually, no, that's a few weeks from now. But still, that's actually week 17. They just win games that you never expected them to fucking win. Just like, wow. I mean, hey, they have Johnny Manziel now. They beat the Seahawks for whatever reason. They beat the Chiefs. Like, somehow they just pull out this miracle of a season to go 6-10. Even though they'll still be out of the playoffs, but they ended up taking down a bunch of playoff-bound teams in their path. That'd be interesting. But unfortunately for the Browns, that's it. Some surprises about the Browns this year, though. Josh McCown played really well on this team, and it was unfortunate that he got injured so much so now that he's out for the year. It's a real shame, because he really like just became like this new quarterback that no one really expected. And then they were like, all right, let's give Johnny Manziel a shot. We all know what happened there. Got benched, and everyone thought it was gonna be for the rest of the season. But then Josh McCown got put on the IR. They had to deal with Austin Davis, and then after the massacre with the Bengals, they're just like, fuck. But they're gonna be strict with Johnny Manziel. They're gonna be like, yeah, if you fuck up again, you're going straight to limbo. I wouldn't be surprised, even still, like, even if he doesn't do anything wrong here, I can see potentially them trading him to like the Cowboys or something. I could see something interesting coming out of the season for them. In terms of Johnny Manziel, we'll see if he's still the quarterback in 2016. But at the end of the day, though, the Browns are RIP, and I'm sure that some teams will be joining them after this week. I'd be shocked if not. But anyways, let's get on to the predictions here. Starting with the Thursday night football juggernaut of a game is the Vikings against the Cardinals. This would have been a lot more exciting if the Vikings actually won last week, but unfortunately that was not even close to being the case. They got practically blown out by the Seahawks, which was, I guess, not surprising. The fact that they got blown out was surprising. The fact that they lost was not as much. I predicted them to win the game, but just turns out, I guess they just completely forgot about Adrian Peterson for whatever reason. I find it hard to believe that they're going to be able to come off of that big blown out loss and be able to beat this Arizona Cardinals team. Not gonna say that this is gonna be a blowout too. I hope this is gonna be a close matchup, considering these are two NFC divisional title teams. One is almost a shoo-in for the title if they win this game, and then win their next game, which is against the Eagles. And then meanwhile, the Vikings are tied right now for first. If they get this win, they are temporarily ahead of the Packers. Probably won't last long, but still, that would keep them in talks with being the divisional winner. I'm hoping that the Vikings can pull out something and end up being the divisional winner, but I just don't think it will be this game that helps them propel them to the NFC North title. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this matchup. It's going to be a good one, though. Very, very good one. Speaking of very good matchups, and I wish this was the Sunday Night Football game, but for whatever reason, they decided to go with the Patriots-Texans, which is okay. That's an okay matchup. The Bills against the Eagles. Man, already all the drama that LaShawn McCoy has stirred up for this game. I don't know. I can't, I've already kind of expressed my opinion on and off regarding his comments about Chip Kelly being racist and all the other shit that he's said. I'm not a big fan of the stuff that he says, but it's funny as hell at the same time. If I had to be honest, it's really funny because I feel like Chip Kelly got cocky this offseason, so seeing someone trying to put him down it feels kind of good, especially coming from. This is from a Giants fan here, so seeing Chip Kelly get put in his place was pretty cool. But at the same time, though, does he really deserve to be called a racist? Well, I don't know. I I mean, I guess we don't know for sure what has happened there, but something tells me he's just kind of shouting that for no reason. Now he's just kind of like, I ain't gonna shake shit. I don't even know what he's doing or why LeSean McCoy is even stirring the pot, but it makes it very interesting going into this matchup. I would really like to see the Buffalo Bills pull up a win on this Eagles team. Meanwhile, with the Eagles coming off of a win against the Patriots, I still don't know how that happened. And you remember how I promised to do a certain thing? No, I'm not doing that. I think that was the game where I decided to go off the rails a little bit and say that I was gonna. I don't even want to repeat it. I just not gonna do it. But I'm shocked. I'm truly shocked. It was. I mean, it does make you wonder, because I do think the Texans are a better team than the Eagles. Can the Texans pull up the upset against the Patriots on Sunday night? But we'll get to that later. This Eagles team, they had a lot of luck on their special teams. A lot of great special teams work from them. And that's really what helped them with the win. A few pretty good interceptions from their defense. The defense is hasn't been the great defense that how they started off the season, or the mid-season. How they were with defense was a lot better than what they are now. I'm gonna give the edge to the Bills. The Bills win it, but it's gonna be a heated, close matchup. I'm looking forward to it. The Seahawks at Ravens. Man, the Seahawks are rolling. I've been doubting them the past few weeks, but this is really gonna look good for them. Their schedule remaining, it's the Ravens, then the Browns, then the Rams, and then the Cardinals. The Ravens and Browns should be a breeze for them. I'd be shocked if they had any struggles with them, but if they at all lose either of those two games, that's a shame, because I just don't think they can make it into the playoffs, and if they do, they're not going to last long. If they lose to just a decimated Ravens team, then I guess Johnny Manziel gives the Browns the chance, but who cares? I don't think that. I doubt the Seahawks will still lose to them. The Seahawks are just rolling, and it comes down to the Rams. Maybe they can get revenge on the Seahawks, and maybe the Seahawks can get revenge on the Rams, and then the Cardinals are the ultimate team to be looking at Week 17. I do wonder, in terms of where the Cardinals will be out at that point. Unless the Cardinals lose this Thursday night matchup and then lose against the Packers, that would be the only scenario where I could see the Cardinals-Seahawks matchup being a game for the NFC West title. Other than that, though, I think the Cardinals are going to still run away with it. But other than that, I think the Seahawks are looking good, looking like they're playoff bound to a wild card game. I'm going with the Seahawks over the Ravens. The Ravens are just, we're just counting down days until they get eliminated. 49ers against the Browns. We already talked about the Browns. The 49ers seem to be getting a groove going with none other than Blaine Gabbert. That's... wow. Who would have thunk, right? He had quite the game on Sunday against the Bears, and it went into overtime, and they were still able to pull it all off, and it was amazing how that ended up coming together. But the 49ers just seem like the better team right now. I was going to originally pick the Browns with Johnny Manziel being in the picture, but now that you got to think about it and how the 49ers are kind of doing well right now, I'm going with the 49ers. Absolutely. Alright, Lions at the Rams. Another one of those matchups where it's not really going to matter who wins this one. I will, just to pick between the two, the Rams, they've been just been slacking. Who cares who's at quarterback? They both suck. The defense is just not holding off anyone. It's just a mess in St. Louis right now, and hopefully they can get their shit together when they head to Los Angeles, which is probably going to happen. Meanwhile, the Lions, I mean, that was a great game. Okay, that was a great game against the Packers. That was one of the best games that I've watched this season. And just that final play just emphasized how great of a quarterback Aaron Rodgers is. Like, we will always right now point to Tom Brady as being the greatest of all time. But Brady will be done with his career, and Rodgers will probably still be going for a little while. I think by the end of Rodgers' career, we might be considering him the best, because he is balling. He is balling right now, and the fact that I think they're gonna come off of this Lions win and just kick ass for the rest of the season. But we'll talk about the Packers. I just drifting off to the last game. I don't even know how you don't cover for a Hail Mary in that last play, considering a fucking laterals to the fucking end zone would be very difficult. You had to expect some sort of Hail Mary. Even if they decided to do a bunch of laterals, just put 11 or 12 people in front of the end zone and just have that be your defense, because more than likely you'll be able to stop them. I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm still gonna go with the Lions here, just because they have been on a roll and they lost to a Packers team that just wanted to get their groove back together, and the Rams are just a mess. So I'm going with the Lions, but they need to work on their Hail Mary skills. Titans at the Jets. I feel like a year ago this matchup probably would not be at all interesting, but it kinda is, with Marcus Mariota coming off a 41-point game, just having a great game, one of his best games of his career thus far, and he just unbelievable, that run, 88 yards for a touchdown by quarterback. That's unthinkable, and it's amazing what the Titans have been able to do with him, but can they stop the Jets, who are coming off of this wild overtime victory that was there for it? It sucked that I was in Giants clothing, because I was rooting for the Jets near the end, because the game got so interesting once the Jets were able to come back and push overtime. Oh my god, I stopped to watch the broadcast of it, because it was so amazing. I would love to talk more about it, but I got some predictions to do. Anyways, the New York Jets are looking really good right now, and I think they have the Titans this week, they have the Cowboys next week, and then they have a little bit of a rough finish. They have to face the Patriots in week 16, and then the Bills in week 17. That's gonna be two very difficult games for the Jets, but right now, if they can cruise to 9-5, things might be looking good for them going into hopefully making it into the playoffs. I've been bouncing between the Bills, the Jets, and the Giants all season. I think knowing where the Giants are at, and knowing that they have like the Panthers on the schedule and their Vikings on the schedule, you look at the Bills, and they have hope with having to face the NFC East teams, but I just don't think they have as much of a hope of getting in the playoffs as the Jets. I think we'll be riding the Jets near the end here, because they have the best team out of all three of them. Yeah, that's just how I feel. I think the Jets will win this game, and they have won my heart for the season, which was the complete opposite of last season. I think I was going more Bills last season, and then I think because the Giants were like far out of it. Rip. All right. Anyways, moving on to another huge matchup. Oh, I forgot actually. Maybe these games are going to be interesting. The Steelers against the Bengals on Sunday this is going to be a huge game. This is huge, because now you're talking about the Steelers, who were rolling on Sunday night, and the Bengals, who have been rolling. They came off of that Cardinals loss, and since then beat the Rams really good, beat the Browns pretty good. Now I do wonder if they could go ahead and go against the Steelers team that has gotten stronger much stronger since they faced the Bengals a few weeks ago? I don't know. And this is one of the tougher matchups for me to pick this week because the Steelers' offense is record-breaking. It's a phenomenal offense. But the Bengals, what they've been able to do, and the team that they've made for themselves, they've been just so good. For now, because it just seems like this is going to be the way it's going to be, I'm going to go with the Bengals. But the Steelers, if they can win that and then go on to beat the Broncos, the Steelers may actually end up coming away with the AFC North title for a second year in a row. That would be some good football right there. Colts against the Jaguars. Now they're in Florida playing against each other. Once again, the Jaguars will have to face the wrath of Matt Hasselbeck, who is coming off of his first loss this season against the Steelers. Now the Blake Bortles and the Jaguars played a pretty good game against the Titans. That Jaguars-Titans game, I wish I got a chance to actually watch the entire thing, because that looked like an intense game, and it was the Titans against the Jaguars. Let's remember that. And the Jaguars are kind of rolling right now. And if the Jaguars are able to beat the Colts, the first time that a AFC South team would beat the Colts in a long time, that would be so huge, and it could change the playoff picture a little bit. But who knows? This seems like it's gonna lean towards the Colts, though. The Colts, again, they're coming off of a loss. They're gonna feel that. They're gonna fix that, and I think they're gonna come in here with some revenge. The Colts are going to win this game. Chargers, Chiefs, Alex Smith, and the entire Chiefs team are pulling a miracle season right now. They are 7-5, and at one point they were 1-5. How do you do it? Who knows? But they're getting their act together. I mean, after losing Jamal Charles, we all thought the Chiefs' season was done, but that was it. And now they are playing for a wild card spot. At least, who knows? If the Broncos slip with Brock Osweiler, you bet your ass the Chiefs will end up sweeping in there and trying to get to an AFC West title. That'd be huge. There's no way that the Chargers are gonna win this. They're a mess. They're probably gonna be joining the Browns this week, in terms of elimination. In terms of visiting that graveyard. It's just they're not playing well, unfortunately. And the only good player on that team right now is Phillip Rivers and maybe Antonio Gates, because he's just a legend. But it's a mess. It's a mess in San Diego. So the Chiefs are gonna win it, and plus it's at home. I mean, you can't. The Kansas City Chiefs have always been great at home. It's just a sad thing for the Chargers. But Kansas City gonna go 8-5 on a 7-win streak, which is the second best active streak right now. I believe. I would be shocked if it wasn't. I don't see why it would be. Yeah, 7 wins. Unbelievable. Alright, Redskins, Bears. The Redskins. I don't even want to think about the NFC East. I talked about the Eagles just now, but now I'm realizing where this NFC East is at. I talked about it on Twitter. I said even before the game, I said if the Cowboys come out of this and win against the Redskins to make it 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 4-8 for the division right now, it would look uglier than Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, love child, Kim Davis in the bikini. Like it's ugly. It is ugly AF. It is the most ugliest that I've seen things. But we've seen this similar scenario against the NFC with the NFC South last year, where we had a 7-8-1 team go into the playoffs. That was the Panthers. They won against the Cardinals, they lost against the Seahawks, and they have not lost since. So maybe an interesting notion with how the NFC East might change a little bit going into next year. But the Redskins, they're a mess. All these teams are a mess, and we thought that the Redskins would come in here. They're coming off of a win against the Giants, and they're gonna be rolling, right? They were gonna keep rolling. No, they lost the Cowboys in what was a sluggish game until the very end. The Bears are coming off of a loss against the 49ers, which was really depressing. But they still competed with them. And it made an interesting game to go into overtime. Right now, I still have my confidence in the Bears. The Bears are gonna win this and put the Redskins on a 2-loss skid going into 4 very important games. Falcons against the Panthers. Speaking of a win streak, the best win streak going on right now this season is it's a 12-win streak that the Panthers hold to be 12-0 at this point in the season. The Panthers are playing some of their best football, and it was a year ago yesterday when you guys see this. It was a year ago yesterday when the Panthers almost lost their starting quarterback to a car accident, and that was scary, because I think that was the first time I really started picking up and watching the NFL to see that be like the first story that I saw. I was just like, wow, that's intense. And that's scary, because I was learning about all these players, and then the first real thought I gave it to Cam Newton was him being in a car accident. It was scary, and I'm very happy that he came out of it alive, because he is. Say what you want about Cam Newton. I know a lot of people look at his past and see that he did some stuff and people were not happy with him, but he has really brought this energy to Carolina and to this league. All he does is smile and call it cocky, but I think it brings joy to a lot of people. This whole touchdown celebration thing, he dances for a little bit. Yeah, apparently that's a controversy. Meanwhile, what he does once he has those touchdowns, he gives it to little kids in the fucking stands. Yeah, and the dancing is like what overwhelms it, because it's controversial. This guy is a kind guy, and he's a leader, and he's awesome, and I really love Cam Newton. I hope that he wins the MVP this year, because he has really just shocked the world with what he has done, and how good of a person he is, and how good of a player he is on that field. If Cam Newton went down soon, which I'm hoping that does not happen, but if he does, the Panthers team, they're not going to be able to go on. They made it to the playoffs, but if he's down and out for the rest of the season and playoffs, Panthers don't stand a chance. Cam Newton carries his team in a lot of ways, but there is a lot of good playmakers. I shouldn't even say that. There's a lot of good things about their defense that I absolutely love. So many great players. Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis. There's just so many on that defense, and even their offense is getting going. Jonathan Stewart has been a good running back for them. If the wide receivers don't drop the balls, they're pretty good as well. They're pretty okay. And of course, Greg Olsen, who is just an amazing dual threat tight end. It's great. And there's the Falcons. So Panthers win. Panthers win this game. The Falcons are they're a mess. I don't even want to get into it. How do you go 5-0 and now you're 6-6? Blah. It's disgusting. Alright, Saints, Buccaneers. Now that I'm over my love fest over the Panthers, let's go into a love fest about the Buccaneers. Jameis Winston, man, another guy that, you know, people look at him and they think he's troubled, and now he's becoming this emotional leader of the Buccaneers, and he's making this Buccaneers team relevant again. They're 6-6, but they could be in the playoff picture at the end of this week, depending. You know, like, who knows where these, like, let's say the Ravens somehow pull up the upset against the Seahawks. There's a chance that the Buccaneers might take that wildcard spot. I'm not too sure. I don't know how the tiebreakers are going to work. But this Buccaneers team still has a shot to make it into the playoffs, even though the Vikings and Seahawks may run away with it. And I'm not going to be surprised at that point if they make it, because of how united this team has become, how much better this team plays together, works together. Doug Martin is a remarkable running back. Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson in terms of wide receivers are great. They got their tight end back. They lost Quan Alexander for the rest of the regular season for the suspension, but I don't know if him leaving is going to definitely devastate this defense, because they still have a great defense from Levante David, Gerald McCoy. There's so many great players on either side of the ball, and then Jameis Winston leading the charge. They're really that great. And you look at the Saints, they competed with the Panthers. They challenged the Panthers. But I don't think they're going to be able to carry that energy that they really put on the Panthers into this Bucs game. I just don't see that's going to happen. The Buccaneers are going to win this game. Go 7-6. Their first time having a winning record. I'm pretty sure, at least, all season. I could be wrong about that, actually. I think this is the first time all season that they're going to have a winning record. Let me double check that real quick, though. Because I remember the Titans won 0-1. Then the Bucs won. Let's see. Just give me 1 second. I'm looking. Okay, yeah. I think this will be the first time they'll have a winning record all season. Because that, and I'd be happy about them. That'd be a really nice thing to see, is for them to have a winning record for once. It'd be interesting. Very interesting. All right, that's that. Raiders, Broncos. I don't know. I look at this matchup and I don't know. The Raiders, they just fallen out of what they were earlier in the season. They looked like they could have made a playoff push, but now it's looking less and less likely. They're 5-7, I believe. It's just not looking that great for them. But I don't know. There's a shot that they could beat the Broncos, but it doesn't look too likely. So I'm going to go with the Broncos. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that one. But the Broncos, they're playing very well right now. They're rolling. They're kicking butt. So, going with them. Alright, Cowboys, Packers. See, this would have been the most, hyped up game of the week if it wasn't for Tony Romo's injury and just the Cowboys sucking ass this year. This could have been like a juggernaut of a game, especially considering it's December, and these teams could have been each having 10 wins each, and it could have been epic. But the Packers have slumped a little bit, and then of course the Cowboys are just an absolute mess. They're not gonna win this game. I'd be shocked if the Cowboys win this game. Absolutely shocked. This would be the Eagles beating the Patriots type of style. The shock from that is very similar if the Cowboys end up beating the Packers. I don't think it's gonna happen. The Packers are gonna win this. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright, Patriots at Texans, Sunday Night Football. Again, there's quite a few matchups, I would say, that fit the Sunday Night Football vibe. But, there's a lot of Patriot fans out there that would love to see their team in primetime. Texans, they don't get a lot of primetime love, so I'm sure they appreciate this. But I still would have argued that Bills, Eagles, Steelers, Bengals, there's a lot of good primetime matchups up in here. Just saying. Patriots at Texans rather. I don't know. The Texans defense did not show up last week against the Bills. And that was against an O-line that has been doing okay for the Bills. The Bills have not allowed a lot of sacks this year. With that being said, though, this is the Texans defense that we're talking about against the Patriots O-line that we've been talking about that has allowed a shit ton of quarterback hits. A lot of quarterback hits. That's not good. Ain't good. Not at all. Because Tom Brady, has this youth about him that just keeps him from... He still plays like he's 26. Like, he's playing amazing football. He's been able to try to come back from things, but his team just can't finish it sometimes. But like, if there's one Patriot that you can always say will play his best football, even in the losses, it's Tom Brady. That being said, if he gets tossed around like I'm expecting, this could be a problem for the Patriots. But it's so hard for me, even though the Patriots are on a 2-game skid, to still pick against the Patriots. And I think that I feel like that's just because of the Texans' loss last week. If the Texans won against the Bills, I may have been inclined to pick the Texans a little bit more. But right now, the Patriots, they're bound to have a rebound, like a comeback sooner or later. Is this week going to be the week? Who knows? They still are going to be without Gronk most of them. At least it seems right now. They still are going to be without Edelman. They'll get back Amendola, but they've had back Amendola, but did he really help them at all this past win? Kind of. This is going to be a close matchup. I think it's going to be a fun matchup, so I'm okay with this being in prime time. I'm going with the Patriots. Have yet to pick against them this season. I just do not see the Texans pulling off a huge victory against these Patriots. But, again, crazier shit has happened. So who knows? Alright. Giants. Why did I make that logo so big? Giants at the Dolphins. I mean, what a Monday night matchup, man. This is not Ravens-Browns laughable. It's more just weird. It's a unique matchup. I don't know. Maybe I just don't know that much about the Giants-Dolphins rivalry, if there is one. But it's a Monday Night Football matchup nonetheless. Both teams sitting at 5-7, but in two completely different spots in terms of the playoff race. One with a win could potentially hold on to the NFC East title. The other with a win probably, I don't know, may help them stay kind of relevant in the AFC. Not really. Yeah, this is a game where it'll be a fun game. I hope it's a fun game, but just I don't know how. It's a big deal for the Giants. I don't know so much about the Dolphins. If the Giants win this, it will definitely help them. If the Dolphins win it, it probably won't help them. But it'll definitely hurt the Giants, that's for sure. So I'm going to pick the Giants in this one right now. And that's just because the way that the Giants have played, they can't finish games for whatever reason. But there's still these flashes of a great team. Their defense, well, I watched them on Sunday. They had a pass rush, which was fun. It was nice to see that they had a pass rush. Their secondary was still just not playing well, but they seem to have something going on up front. Whether that be the presence of JPP or not helping them, but it was nice seeing that. And there's flashes of the offense that looked great. Not so much in the running game, but Odell Beckham Jr. He continues to shock the world with whatever he does. I'm just going to go with the Giants because I just think they're a slightly better team than the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a little just kind of torn apart and everything. Even though they had a very nice win against the Ravens, they're not going to have an easier time against the Giants. The Giants, I'm pretty sure, will win, but we'll see what happens. And that's the end of my predictions. So a lot of interesting stuff going on. Definitely in terms of games that you should watch. Vikings, Cardinals, Bills, Eagles. I don't know, Steelers, Bengals, probably, definitely. I would even say the Colts Jaguars game would be pretty interesting. I don't know. That interests me, at least. I think that'd be fun. And I think Sunday Night Football, Patriots Texans, will be a good one to check out. Other than that, just watch the scores, if anything, for the other games. But no, I hope it's an exciting week of football. I've been proven wrong before in terms of the excitement level of something. Week 10, again, I keep on talking about it, but that was a great week of football. That was so much fun. But I think we're gonna have another good week ahead of us. So that's for sure. Yeah, we're in our final 4 weeks of predictions. And then we'll get into the playoff predictions. And one by one, we will add our teams to the cemetery. I can see. I think the Chargers, the Titans. Yeah, I think those were going to be the teams, and the Cowboys probably will join in the graveyard for sure. That's what I see. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.